Morning. What's going on? What's going on, folks? How y'all doing? Oh, yeah, we got a little action today. It looks like there's some news out on this DraftKings. These guys at the Hindenburg have called it a little bit of a scam, so you're starting to see a little bit of action on the nice pre-market dump here. Guys, we're at an interesting spot in the market. We're at the top of the Bollinger Band on the QQQs. There's nothing that says, right now that there's any inherent weak price action. If you really look at a 30-minute chart, we're really just trending up our EMA. So overall, we have a very, very healthy market. We haven't seen any signs yet of a deterioration in the tape. But one thing that is always the case is that once you get into like this many days up in a row and into resistance, you typically will get some type of shakeout days. And I believe Uncle Jerome Powell is speaking tomorrow, and so there could be, I expect at some point today we're going to get one of those kind of swooshy, quick, dumps just to kind of, it lets steam out. Like, you can see here like last week right on the 10, like you get this like nice kind of 1% like quick pullback. I would be very, very, very wary of doing the same stuff today that has been working in the last few days. Meaning, there's been like a lot of turds like flying around and stuff like that, and we'll still play those, but like we have to be a little bit careful. I expect with the Fed tomorrow and us being at so much resistance, we're gonna get some type of pullback. Look, we're at a 96 stochastics. We're at all-time highs, but we are at a little bit of an extension level. There's been a certain level of frothiness in the market the last few days. Now, the other side of this is that we haven't really seen any deterioration in the tape. So, that would be, I'm making an assumption basically, right? That is something that could happen. And Jordan is right. We've seen for the last like month or so, Tuesdays have been funky for the last month or so. So that's also something to just kind of keep mind of. The 9 EMA in the market's about 5 points away. It's like 1.5%. I think probably a test of that would be, something in the cards. Woo! This fucking DraftKings get fucking shamangled. It's amazing. I always wonder what the heck DraftKings do. You go on their website, it's like fantasy football, right? Yeah, who gives a shit? Now, let's play for two things. Number one, there's been good speculative fever in the markets. We want to capture that, but we have to be a little bit wary that at some point, probably today and maybe tomorrow, we're going to get a little bit of either choppiness or a dump. You just have to be kind of prepared for that. That's as we're getting extended. And the more extended you get, the more likely that just happens. Now, let's take a look at some of the earnings plays, and then we'll kind of go into what I think are just some nice-looking charts. Hold on here. So this Raptor, we were playing this thing yesterday. This Raptor, we were playing this yesterday. There's a good shred off it on the ORB, and then it kind of fucked around a little bit. I think this one probably has a day two in it. It's a tough trader. It's got a huge spread. I mean, I had like 2,000 shares of this thing, and the spread on it was like 40 cents. It was like your P&L moves around like $1,000 just in between the spread. That fucking thing, it can really get you going. So you gotta be careful on this thing. I think 50 is gonna be resistance. But if we start looking like we 51, if we start looking like, we're going to break over it, I'll take a little gander on it. This is not my, typical bread and butter type of play. I do like biotechs and stuff, and this price range I do trade much better. But it is a little bit wild. But let's add that to the list for today. EH had a PR out this morning. EHang Holdings dispatches aerial vehicles, blah, blah, blah. whatever that fucking means. But this thing has got a good look to it. You're got just a nice bottoming pattern here. You know, this thing used to be $140. You got a nice bottoming pattern here. This is just like a nice looking squeeze. I wouldn't chase this thing up, 9%. If it pulls back at the open, let's add that to the list. CLNE. Hi, so, we were playing this wish yesterday. It's a little bit, because it does so much volume. The problem, a lot of times you want to look for volume in plays, but this damn thing does so much volume that it kind of like, if you don't catch it at the exact moment, where you get the push, you really do get stuck in these kind of like grinds and wicks, and that's what happens when stocks just do too much volume. It's why, we don't really trade banks and, those kind of things. But overall, like, I would add this to the list. If the market's going to hold up, then, we'll need something a little bit more spec like that. Mara, Riot, these are still nice bottoming patterns, but they are at resistance. I'd probably leave those alone. I think the can has more room. Can just shot out of the gate yesterday. That's like a $2-3 move right there. And it's been resting. It actually held up well. Usually can dies pretty quickly. It's been holding up pretty well. I would give this a little goose and a gander. If it starts to get over this level over here, I think that we're going to start to push. So what I want to see at the open is, right, some type of building and let it kind of take out that 11. I think we'll be good to go on this one. I wouldn't step in front of it. Man, I think we're gonna get something on that too. I know everybody's been asking about AMC. There's a break here at 60. This is not really my. There's a break at 60. This is not my particular kind of green tea, but it looks okay. I can't trade that thing. It's just too thick. It's another one that just does too much volume. It ends up being, a grinder. So I leave that alone. Corsair was a pump and dump yesterday. Try to stay away from those. Guys, in general, if you get, as the market gets extended, if you start playing into too many of these kind of pump and dump stocks, you get stuck left in, with your hand in your pants, and you're caught at elementary school. You're going to be in a lot of trouble. Like, you just can't do it. These are the type of things that when the market gets extended, these are the ones that roll over the most. Like, you got to kind of keep away from them if you can. Let's see if there's anything on the downside. Hey, DMAC, what's going on? Yes, you know what? Sage. Says study means primary, blah, 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 blah. Hey, you know what? This has got actually a decent little rollover on it. If we need a short, 800,000 shares in volume, it's going to have probably a pretty good range. If we need a short on this, this is going to be the one. Let's add that to the list for ORB short potentially. DKNG also. It's been rolling over for a few days. It's like, this fucking short report was definitely telegraphed a little bit. Like, you see the increase in volume yesterday? The market was so hot yesterday, and this thing was just rolling over. You had an increase in volume. They really fucking timed these things perfectly. I'll tell you what. The people that put out the hit pieces, whether the hit pieces are right or wrong, a good one times it right. Like, you got to do it at the right spot. If you do it, you can really shred these fucking stocks. I add this Donkey Kong to the list. I won't chase it down at 10% because the SSR will put on it. And this kind of hot market, it may just squeeze right up off at the open. What we want to do is watch for some signs of, lower high, some type of rollover, and then we'll get it going. Easier play might be Penn and Sympathy. You can see here, you got a bear flag on the daily. This stock has not been participating with the general market running. This thing has been dead. Like, this could be the day where, like, maybe you get like a nice $3-4 candle right off at the open. I think that this one, we got to add it for potential short. I like that. I saw Wolf on the gap down, but it had such a huge day yesterday. I'm very wary. Man, that's a nice push into the close, man. Oof. I would probably not. I'm not thinking short on this one. If anything, it's probably more of a candidate for a red to green if the market holds. Dun, 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 dun. Uber, I'm having trouble kind of reading Uber because it looks like it's in range, Cedric. And, if it got under this 48.60, you'd have some downside on it. But frankly, if it got over this 51, it has some upside. So it's just stuck in a box. And that's a tough place to be in. This CCL is also, this is not my particular thing. The thing with CCL is like, obviously this is a turd of a company most likely, but it's come a long way. You don't really have a pattern here. Like, you could bounce around here, but how much is it really going to bounce, right? This is at this point a failed breakout, and a failed breakout usually means that you're going to have to spend a lot of time consolidating, a lot of time digesting those gains. I'm 50-50 on that one, to be honest. I think it looks okay, but is it like something that, is this something that you need to put your money in? AHT, BBIG, I'm not really familiar with either of these. It looks okay. I don't know really what else to say. It's in a nice trend. I mean, I haven't spent too much time looking at this. It's in a nice trend, but it is a little bit extended. Probably having it come back a little bit would, do it some good. BBIG is very similar. It's just a cheaper stock that's bottoming. I don't know if it's got anything in it for today, but overall it looks fine. Okay, let's go into the regular watch list. I think we have an idea where the gappers are. I want the Sage, we want this Donkey Kong, we want the Boots, and we want the Coots. Let's get this thing going. Add Pen also on the short life. Now let's just talk about some tech stocks I think that are holding up pretty well. Roku had a big day yesterday. 347, 346, a nice 20-point range on this. It looks like it's really just starting. It's just starting its move. Now, it's got a weak open on it, so if we get a dump off at the open, let's kind of keep an eye on maybe like 356, 357. We'll look for a little rounding on it. That one could work pretty good. We still got TDOC and a base breakout. I think Docu at this point is a daily trader. I was actually hoping it'd gap up into kind of 270 so we could take it down for a short. It is getting super long in the tooth. I think one more push on this one. It's not there yet, but one more push on this one, we might get like a 10, 15, 20 point short on it. As it's just getting, it's 178, so you're up, 75, 80%. One more push, I think we could probably, we could short this thing. What do you think? Yeah, let's do it. Airbnb, top of the list. You got a Flagzilla on this one. You're running right into its trend line. 149, 150-ish sends this thing. You got a bottoming pattern on it. The tech stocks, the IPOs are looking a lot better than they were. You've got probably on an intraday basis room to about 157 if it actually does break. This is not an easy trader. If you can look at these spikes and wicks and the length of the candles, this is probably, it's not a good stock for some of you guys. You got to be trading really well to be able to handle these kind of wicks. Like if you're hot, then wicks are like your friend. You can make money off wicks and those kind of things because you're just trading well and you're not chasing and you know how to level in and out of your place. If your trading stinks, then this type of action, like if you look at the candles and the size of them, the cleanliness of them, it's going to get you in a lot of damn trouble. A lot of damn trouble. So I like this name, but I don't like it for all you guys because I think it's going to have shakeouts in it just due to the fact that it's got, so much wicks and stuff going on. Wolf, I didn't see the news on it. What was the news? I didn't see it, Dina. There might have not been like any earnings type of news. Sometimes these things can just be like one day kind of pumps. It looks okay, but like not anything I'd say I put my kids' college tuitions in. Good, 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 good. All right, let's take a look. Top of the list, future red to green. Top of the list, future red to green. See, you got about $1 gap down on this. We've got a level here that it's been building at. If the dip on this gets bought at the open and it goes red to green, I think we'll probably break that 157 today. That's top of the list right there. What do you think? If future goes, then we'll play Tiger too. I think future looks a little bit more coiled up right now. To be honest, you got a nice little range break over there. If you look at more like a 30-minute chart, you can see here, take out this little penis that's been sticking out, and you can see here, like this level is pretty important. So we go in, a little bit of red to green. If the opening dip gets bought, we'll come in hot on this thing. Now the margin stinks on it, so you need to take it with a grain of salt. You're only going to get so much size on it. And I think ZM's a daily trader for us, but that's the main list. So we got Wrapped. Let's go back. We got EH. We've got Wish. We've got Sage. We've got Donkey Kong. And we got Penn as news plays, earnings plays. Then we've got for non-gappers, potential red to greens. We've got future, always buckets. You want to put your trading into buckets, right? Tier 1, Tier 2, Tier 3. Tier 1 is stocks that get fresh news out that are ready right now. Tier 2 is stocks that you like, but they need a little bit of work to set up properly for you to take it right away. Tier 3 is daily traders, right? These are just things I trade every day. You know, we have a bunch of those too. We always want to go Tier 1, Tier 2, Tier 3. That way you have everything organized properly. This is looking like a hot one. So future, potential, red to green. Roku, also looking for opening dip, potential red to green. Which one are we missing? I don't know about the taco thing. You could do the same thing with Crowd and Airbnb. So we want to keep a couple of techs. Techs are rounding. If any of you guys need a little bit more speculative kind of swing trade, this one looks like this Ruby. I've been stalking this for a few days. You get a hot little range break here. If it gets over, you might start to push around. Now, it's not like a huge volume play, so this is like, you throw like 500 shares at it or something. Good. I don't know what bull put spreads are. Shit. Jordan, not all of us went to school for 9 years like you. Can't you speak English? Let me see. Twitter. Nah. Pins. Nah. I think we got the list. All right. Space the Daily Trader too. So let's go back. Wrapped, EH, Wish, Sage, Donkey Kong, Penn, Roku, red to green. Tech stocks, red to green. All right. You could even add like something like a Fubo on it. For sure. This Triple D's has got a flag on it too. If the market goes, keep an alert at 30 on that one. This one's actually very hot. If you look at its 30-minute chart, as long as it can hold here, I think this one has got to go on it. Good. Future Roku for potential red to greens. We come in hot. You know what? UPST, I bounced this for a hot second. I bounced this yesterday at the opening dip. This lockup is over now, so the selling should subside. I do think you're at a close bounce spot on it. Man, Mr. Faye David, I gave you all my heart and all the hottest stocks around. You want to talk about Teradata? You want to talk about Teradata? It looks aight. So look, and I'll tell you why I don't like it. It's got an 86-cent ATR. I'm just teasing you, but it's got an 86-cent ATR. So you just it looks like it tanked yesterday, right? And then you realize it moved like 50 cents. if you see some of the other stuff that we trade, right? Like think about what the ATRs are on these things. Like this EH got $4 ATR. Like UPST's got $13 ATR. So like a lot of these have like that the ATR you need to really come in, really come in hot. Right? Like you see Docu, it's got $7 ATR. So now you're talking about right being able to kind of really properly shred versus a future $8 ATR. So the Teradata is just not going to give you enough juice. Ain't going to give you the juice you need. Bumble. Let me look. I'm not a fan of Bumble. To me, this looks like more like a swing trader. It's a very hard day trader. It looks okay. Like if you get over this level here for maybe a swing, it's getting a little bit extended though. After it settles. But you get. This is more of a swing trader than a day trader, which is totally fine. Good. The other thing is it's very, very natural to come in and get your list too extended. Start cleaning out your list. Workhorse, what a turd. Roblox looks okay. Not, I think it may need more time. Yeah, Roblox has broken some support now, so it probably needs to come back into maybe it's about 84. Future, Roku, DDD, potential red to greens. And then we got our earnings plays like Donkey Kong. That's the list, guys. Trade well. Remember what I said. In the next 2 days, there's going to be a shakeout. As the Fed comes in on Wednesday, everybody's already spooked about this inflation and all this stuff. And that is actually something that probably is happening. I can't find anybody to pull weeds out of my fucking lawn or do anything right now. There is inflation. So we'll see. The market's going to be spooked a little bit in the next couple days, but we're just long in the tooth. We'll get one shakeout here somewhere. Maybe a 1% pullback, even a 1.5%. It'll be quick though. Quick and painful, but the biggest thing is you don't want to be too loaded up in a bunch of turds when it happens because it will be coming. Yeah, Workhorse looks okay. Not my particular flavor. Let me see what CLF. I haven't looked at CLF looks okay too. Rodney, it depends if you're trying to do day trading or swing trading. If you're looking at swing trading, then I'm using daily charts, and when I'm day trading, I'm using 5-minute charts. Typically though, I combine them, meaning I get my ideas from my daily chart, and then I look at the, intraday to time my entries and exits properly. Good. That's the list. I'm sticking to it. If I could turn back time, if I could find a way. Alright. Let's get some fun today, guys. I think we're going to get some action. We're going to get that action. Who asked about Atos? Let me see, man. Atos has always been a big turd. It's got a nice trend on it. How much upside it's got left, I'm not sure. Good. this nice bleeder. All right, let's go do what we do, guys. And as always, we have boot camp class start. Thank you, everybody, for coming to the webinar yesterday. I'll have the replay up and emailed to you guys. We got boot camp class starting in, I believe, a couple days. So I'll see you all in class. Old boot camp students, you guys are more than welcome to come as many times as you want. You can retake class forever. Let's go do what we do, which is the do.